We're here at South by Southwest at the Trailview launch for Nature Valley, talking with
Scott Baldwin, Nature Valley.
And tell us a little bit about the background behind the platform.
So Nature Valley, our whole mission is about getting people out to enjoy nature. And we've supported the national parks over a number of years. And on our mind is, how do you make the national parks more top of mind? They're beautiful, they're awe-inspiring, but for a lot of people they just aren't top of mind. So this was an experiment to say, let's do something bigger, bolder, a little bit new, a little more cutting edge. And so we challenged our agency partner McCann, and they said, well, what would you do to bring the parks to more people? And Trailview was born.
So when you're scoping the project, what were the things that you guys wanted to really best represent?
You know, for us, when we talk to the people that love Nature Valley the most, and I'm sure this is similar to Backpacker, national parks were iconic nature. That is nature with a capital N. And so we wanted this to represent some of the most iconic spots in the national parks. That was why we started with Great Smoky Mountains, Yellowstone, Grand Canyon, and we couldn't do everything at once, so we said let's find the most picturesque in some ways and most interesting and varied trails, and let's make sure that this is different from what's out there. And so we took Street View and we took these amazing trails and we said let's put them together.
So the Street View thing is very interesting. Tell me a little bit more about the development of how that came around and got integrated. That is the platform, Trailview, that's the name of it. But how does that, what were the challenges there and also the successes that you guys saw with that technology?
Everyone's so familiar with Google Maps and Street View, and it's very interesting, but it's not always beautiful. I mean, you know, the streets of Manhattan aren't always beautiful, but it's interesting. And so the challenge for us was they use cars and trikes and motorized or they're very smooth vehicles. We had to figure out, how do you get someone going down a 45-degree angle path that might have loose gravel and might have a really narrow pitch, and how do you get a camera and get a stable 360 picture? I mean, it was a huge technical challenge. And so, the camera we figured out, and then you had to find an amazing person, branded, who could wear the 60 pounds of equipment and hike and keep us footing and keep stable. It was pretty interesting.
So you said you started with these. What's the future? Now that we have this platform and we'll get everybody engaged, what are you looking to perhaps expand on that?
I think what comes to mind first for me is, how do I make it more mobile? How do I get it closer to the actual experience so that I don't want to just use it at home, I want to use it the night before my hike. So mobile, I want to make it more interactive than it already is, which is, I'd love to get people uploading their own pictures, sharing their own experiences, experts to come in and give us, like, hey, this is what I did, here's a great spot. So I think those two things, and then more parks, more trails, that's what we're doing.
So for you, you played with the platform. What's your favorite trail view so far? That's a tough question because there's 300 miles of trail.
There's a lot of trail. There's a lot. You know what? The panoramic view from the south rim of the Grand Canyon. It's just, it's unbelievable. I've been there in person. I've seen it. And to be able to see it online too, and to share it, and Facebook someone and say, join me at the South Rim. It's amazing.
So that's a park you've been to? Have you been to Yellowstone and the Smokies?
I have been to Yellowstone and Grand Canyon, but I haven't been to the Smokies yet.
So when you were looking at the Smokies, is there something that was really iconic?
I think it was, I'm going to get the name wrong now. It's one of the waterfalls.
Rainbow Falls?
Rainbow Falls, yeah. And I remember just looking at that. It's one of our panoramic vistas of Rainbow Falls. And I was like, why have I not been there? I grew up in the Midwest, and so we went west usually for the parks. I was like, I didn't go east. This is something you have to go out. You're welcome.
Nature Valley Trailview is launched. It's live. Get online, naturevalleytrailview.com, #Trailview. Check it out, and I want to thank Nature Valley for doing so much for the national park.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just like